Hello, Chris Green here with the Flood Insurance Guru, and today we're talking about mortgage requirements. What we're talking about is the mortgage industry creating a bigger disaster when it comes to flood disasters. Now, we're not talking individually about a mortgage company. What we're really talking about here are regulations when it comes to the federal government and the mortgage industry. You know, many times through these disasters, what we hear is, well, I only put enough coverage on my property on whatever the mortgage company required, or the mortgage company didn't require me to get a flood insurance, so I didn't get it. But then when a flood disaster occurs, they've got no coverage. So what we're talking about today is this creating bigger disasters. This is what we're starting to see in New York is a lot of people are leaning on the advice of the mortgage industry when they tell them whether flood insurance is required or not. You know, they don't need it, or they only need enough to cover the loan amount. There's a couple things you need to really pay attention here when it comes to flood insurance, and that's the 80% rule when it comes to National Flood Insurance Program, even private flood. You know, the National Flood Insurance Program, you have to have either 80% of replacement cost or $250,000, whichever one's higher on a residential property. Or the property can default to actual cash value. This means you may only get $50,000 on a $200,000 building. We see it happen every day. The same thing goes to say for many private companies where you've got to insure sometimes for at least 80% of the replacement cost, or it drops down to an actual cash value. So it's important to understand these things. So when it comes to creating a bigger disaster, it's always recommended that you carry flood insurance. Louisiana has shown us this, Mississippi, the Waverly, Tennessee flooding recently, and now New York, is that it doesn't matter what floods on your end, you still have that risk. So if you've got questions about properly protecting yourself when it comes to flood insurance, click below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. Remember, we have an educational background in flood mitigation, which means we can help you understand flood risks like this right here, your flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term. Thank you.